The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. Let's kick some sports concepts and rationalizations around. There are like 15 different baseball plans out there. They're waiting, they're going through, they're doing their due diligence. I am on board with the 3 10-team divisions.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Sure I have. That's a big news-making, interesting topic that we can get into today.
Do you like them?
Well, I like whatever. I appreciate.
Are you okay with that? It's a tremendous.
Whatever. I mean, yeah, it's 1 year, so I mean, you can't complain about fairness or stronger division, whatever. Just give me some baseball to watch. If you're gonna look, if your team is a good team capable of winning it all, it doesn't matter how they configure the league.
Yeah. Now the question would be, how many playoff teams, who gets in,
that
who
part
gets
is
out.
that, and are they giving any indication of what that would be?
I have not seen, I don't think, anything about that. I just looked, again, as a Mets fan, I immediately looked where are they locating us, and they're putting us in the East.
I think the East is a little harder than my division. I would be in the Central.
Yeah, I thought yours was a little harder.
That's
Isn't
funny.
that funny? Because there's you.
You avoid us, so that's good.
I got the Yankees. The Red Sox aren't anything. I got the defending world champion
Red Sox
Nats.
will be fine.
They're
Don't you
not.
think?
I don't think they're going to be good this year at all.
No, I mean,
the Phillies, the Pirates,
They're
the
gonna be better
Blue
than the
Jays,
Brewers, I
the
guess is my
Orioles,
point.
the Rays, and the Marlins. I mean,
what? You got the Rays are a really good team, Nick. They're one of the 5 best teams in the league.
I understand that.
So you got the Yankees and the Rays.
I got the Orioles, the Marlins, the Pirates.
Correct.
How many games do I get against them?
And no, I know that.
8? Or is it like we just play our pod,
you
right?
you probably get an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So that part's true, but then again, I go the other. Although, yeah, you're right about one thing.
Like the Reds are improved.
Well,
you got the Twins.
And the White Sox are also improved.
Yeah.
But I've got I had my share too. I had the Tigers.
Yeah.
And
Here you go. You got the Indians. They're good. The White Sox are improved. The Cubs, the Twins, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Reds, Tigers and Royals.
Yeah, I'm not. Tigers and Royals that's my 2. And you mentioned some teams with some race eyebrow. The Brewers aren't what they were. They're not. I mean, they're good, but
right.
And the White Sox, they're improved, but they're not what?
Why would you go to the Central and not be in the East, though?
I don't know. It's a good question. It seems like they would have put Pittsburgh. Was Pittsburgh in yours, right? Maybe because that would have been too hard. If you put the Braves, Mets, Phillies, Nats, Rays, Red Sox, and Yankees.
Yeah, maybe they went like Tier A, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 and trying to determine the fairness.
I really think, though, what it does show is a very healthy Major League Baseball. The West, though, looks pretty weak to me. That's all.
They got the Dodgers.
Astros and Dodgers, that's it. Who scares you out there?
That would be it, yeah.
Right. I mean, so the West, I think, which will open up. I would think that, I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, it is, there are going to be teams from the West that aren't as good as the East teams. I don't know if they're going to take your overall record or if it's going to be a certain amount per division.
You only play interdivisional games.
Yeah.
And again, this has not been agreed to, by the way.
Yeah,
this is just one of the ideas.
I don't know if this can fly.
Well, this gets you in 3 certain areas, which is good. It's what we talked about, being in a certain,
But they're talking about, though, that including going to home ballparks, not just playing them all in one location.
Uh-huh.
And they may do that to start, but
yeah.
The plan with that would be you're playing, if Atlanta plays the Cubs, it's in Wrigley, not in, Tucson or whatever region they put you. I like it because it's, it's something. It's a plan. It's something positive that talks about the return.
It's a 100-game season. It would begin late June and July.
The only question that's
Teams
still
would
out
play
there
in their home ballparks, but fans would not be allowed to attend games.
By the way, which is going to be a great time for us to utilize press credentials, and we go to a lot of games.
This would enable players to avoid quarantining from their families for several months. The league would feature 3 10-team divisions aligned by geographical locations that would join clubs from both national and American. It'll be interesting. And it's nice to talk a little baseball and see, but I think that, to me, seems like one of the better ideas, and I think he should shoot for 100. If he can get 100 games, that'd be great. And that
when
would
they
be
say
June,
100,
July, August, or actually it'd be July, August, September. That's 3 months.
And it may actually
maybe October, and then playoffs in November.
I do think that another idea that they should think about would be, and this is a unique season, so why not?
Right. Everything's on the table, and that's how they've handled it.
Well, I think they should put the World Series this year on a neutral field.
Yeah.
Indoors, not even warm weather.
Yeah.
An indoor.
And they might do that.
Go play it in Tampa or Arizona or whoever's got it.
No, they might do that.
I think they should. Because this is all thrown out of whack anyway.
Right.
You get no home field. First of all, it's like we talked about with Murphy. Home field advantage in baseball is lesser than it is in other sports.
And you might find some things that work when you get, let's try these things because it's this season. Fans will be accommodating and understand. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try everything. And then you find some things that work. For example, in my opinion, I don't agree with Peter King 100%. But because he was over the moon about the draft this weekend and how it was televised because of the moments with the families. But the moments with the families were sweet. But they found that they don't need all the glitz and glamour. I like the glitz and glamour of the NFL draft in terms of, I think, and it's too big of a deal now. I mean, when you saw what you saw in Nashville a year ago, okay, you can expect that hopefully to return one day where you have, a city hosting the draft. But give cameras and kits to more of the draftees, even if they go in the third or fourth round, it's still a great moment. So I think that's how it would work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we shall see how that all pans out. But I thought that was interesting, and I think that's something that can work. And I hope right now that would be my vote for the best plan, I think.
Yeah, on the text line, if you don't have fans, then what's the damn point? Seriously? Is that a serious question? Do I have to tell you why?
Yeah.
The games are on television, friend. Yeah. That's where sporting events are played now. They're not played in stadiums and arena. They're played on HD television.
Well, I'm not going to argue.
That's where the leagues make their money. I'd like to go to games.
Correct,
don't get me wrong.
Correct. But there is a huge point. There's a huge point in keeping things going and not lose. I mean, the major point is play. Give us something. I mean, you
still have fans. You just don't have them in the arena. That's silly.
Yeah.
Why? That's like saying why do you ever go to a movie?
Yeah.
Why do you ever watch television?
You and LeBron can go play a horse together then if you don't want to do anything without the fans.
Yeah. So I mean, I
want sports.
So that would be the quote damn point is that you fans are served by games on television just a lot more than they are by watching them in person. In fact, I don't want to get a ton into this. We can maybe talk about it a little bit later if you want.
Yeah. I'll talk about anything.
Well, this David Hale who writes for. Didn't David Hale at one time, wasn't he the FSU writer?
Give him Hale.
Did he or no? Do you remember David Hale? Didn't he cover FSU at one point?
He did.
So he has a little bit of inside knowledge. He's a more overall generic college football columnist for ESPN now. But he did a story where he put the college football teams into tiers. We always do that. The top tier right now is Ohio State, Clemson.
Yeah.
Somehow he doesn't have Alabama in that tier, which to me makes the whole thing meaningless. But his point being Ohio State and Clemson have Fields and Lawrence.
Okay.
And Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, the next tier, all have quarterback replacements. So,
boy, the NFL is somebody's high on this
Newman.
Georgia kid.
Well,
he's in all the mocks in the first round.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
I'll give the mock drafters credit. At least they decided to have the stones to put it out there now instead of next February when suddenly they find the Josh Allens and the kids. Look. Did you watch any of Jamie Newman? Did he look like an NFL quarterback to you?
He's big, but no.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a special quarterback. He looks like a good player, but not anything spectacular.
Yeah.
Nothing more than what we see every year in the SEC.
We'll have to ask Riles about him.
Yeah. I don't know. They've fallen in love again with the measurables, so we'll see if those play out. But he could be – at least they're giving me Jordan Love and Josh Allen before the season. That's my complaint always, that they come up with. If they're so good, why don't they know it?
I like what Jameis Winston said, but I'm not buying it. Does that make sense?
What, that he's going just to go to
He's going because he had no other opportunities.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, but that's the truth.
We looked earlier, and you don't lead the league in passing and not have a job the next year.
I know.
This is historic stuff that Jameis has gone through.
I know.
There have been a couple of minor
For those who missed
examples.
it, Jameis Winston said, it's great. I think it's a perfect situation. I put my ego aside. I put my, wasn't worried about the money. Well, again, the right thing to say, put my ego aside, put the money to the side to think about my family, think about my career. Okay, great. But I would contend if the Jacksonville Jaguars called and said, you'll be the starter here, and here's a 3-year deal worth only he would have taken it.
Oh, sure he would have.
That's
They're making the best of a bad situation.
He's in a tough spot. I don't. The league has given up on Jameis Winston.
Listen, what do coaches hate more than anything else in football?
Yeah,
turnovers. They hate it more than They hate it more than stupid penalties.
Well, they know that Bruce Arians, who's a pretty good coach with quarterbacks, couldn't fix them.
Yeah, it's just in his DNA to throw it to the other team. You know what I was going to mention too? We stayed on an FSU vein, but this cat David Hale, who wrote this college football tier, he's got FSU down in the group that would be like 50, 60 teams in. Does that surprise you? Like, does FSU seem to you like it could belong in the Iowa State, Boise State, Iowa, Memphis, UCF, Appalachian State, Baylor, Utah category, or is that too high for them?
No, they should be at least in that category.
Okay, that's tier 4, which gets you all right. Tier 1, Ohio State, Clemson.
Yeah.
Tier 2, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Tier 3, Florida, Auburn, Penn State, Oregon, LSU.
Yeah, okay. Not ready for that one.
Which is actually tier 2. Tier 1 was 1 and 1A, in fairness.
All right.
Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma 1, but below those 3. So tier 2 is Florida, Oregon, Auburn, Penn State, LSU. Then you get to tier 3, which is 6 more teams, so that gets us up to 11. And those 6 are Washington, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Michigan, Texas, Wisconsin.
Yeah, you're not ready for that one.
Okay, now we're going up another 8 teams to tier 4, and that's Iowa State, Boise State, Iowa.
They can get in there.
Memphis, UCF, Appalachian State, Baylor, Utah. Doesn't have them in there.
Yeah, that's
let's go tier 5. That's another 10 teams, and they're not in that one.
Oh, dear.
That one is North Carolina, Pittsburgh, USC, Tennessee, Cal, Oklahoma State, Minnesota, Miami, Arizona State, Louisville.
I must be a little bit of a snob, but I think that tier could be better than the tier in front of it.
That is some super snobbery there because it's the smaller one.
Yeah.
Shouldn't but FSU gets dumped all the way down to tier 6, which if you count, that's 18, 24, 29, 34. So this is 35 on down.
Well, yeah.
FSU, Indiana,
that's a bowl
Kentucky,
game. That's a
Cincinnati.
That's a 7-win season.
7
or 8 at most.
Cincinnati, Ole Miss, Louisiana, Lafayette, Wake Forest, Navy, Buffalo. Wow.
Yeah. I guess Wake beat them last year, though, right?
Huh?
Wake beat them.
Well,
last year.
everyone's been beating them too much is the problem, and wow, you better be careful. You know, you have this assumption that you'll just bounce back and you're in a league and in a state, and Miami never has. They never have, and they've gone through a number of coaches, a ton of quarterbacks, and they've never come anywhere near being what they were. And, you know, you move from Bobby Bowden is the king, and Jimbo maintained, started to let it lax a little bit. Willie Taggart is an abomination, and so you're putting an awful lot on Mike Norvell to save the program.
All right, more on the what-if game when we come back. We'll try to paint a positive picture on the Jags. We'll update the poll. We got what's trending. Chris Reimer will check in today. So still plenty of stuff going on right here as we head into the 8 o'clock hour, plus, of course, 9 o'clock Nasty, and another big question that I have still to be answered.
We've had some doozies already today.
Coming up right here on the Drill.
CPR contracting Wednesday.